In the 27th century, Earth had evolved into a major power among the stars. No longer the struggling blue planet of ancient history, Earth was now a formidable voice in the Galactic Council, a governing body of powerful alien civilizations, formed to maintain balance, oversee trade, mediate conflicts, and ensure peace across hundreds of star systems. At first, Earth's inclusion in the Council was seen as symbolic, a nod to unity and diversity. But few expected the humans to become so influential, so quickly. Earth, ever resourceful and driven by survival instincts, adapted fast. It brought a unique combination of innovation, diplomacy, and military discipline. Earth's soldiers, diplomats, and scientists became invaluable assets to Council missions. In wars against rogue empires and border conflicts, Earth often volunteered. Most troops took on the riskiest missions and sacrificed the most. Despite this loyalty, Earth was rarely granted leadership positions or significant political sway within the Council. The core powers, the long-dominant species like the Virelians, Oraktal, and Zenthai Collective, viewed Earth's rise with quiet suspicion. The Council was designed to prevent any one species from gaining too much power, but over time, its inner circle became more of an exclusive club than a fair ruling body. Earth's contributions were increasing, but its influence remained limited. Frustration grew within Earth's United Stellar Command, which began to sense that humanity was being used as a convenient shield, praised for its loyalty, but denied the respect and authority it had earned. Matters came to a head during a historic Council summit held on Aurelia Prime, the Council's neutral capital planet. Earth presented a bold proposal, a restructuring of the Council's voting system, allowing all member species, not just the core founders, to have proportional influence based on contribution, sacrifice, and population. It was a plea for equality, fairness, and a new era of cooperation. But Earth underestimated how deeply entrenched the power dynamics were. The proposal was met with cold resistance, subtle mockery, and eventually, outright rejection. The Virelian delegate accused Earth of overreaching, suggesting that humans lacked the experience to understand galactic politics. Whispers of Earth's arrogance and the upstart species echoed through the chambers. After the vote failed, Earth's ambassador, Admiral Leona Rask, privately met with allies she thought she could trust. Some gave polite assurances, but most avoided committing. Earth left the summit not only humiliated, but suddenly viewed as a potential disruptor, a species growing too powerful, too fast. What Earth didn't know was that the summit had sealed more than a diplomatic failure. It had lit the match on a conspiracy already brewing behind the scenes. Fearing Earth's continued rise, a secret coalition of senior council leaders began planning a quiet operation, one that would weaken Earth's military capabilities, eliminate key leaders, and quietly reassert the existing balance of power. They would strike first, fast and without open war, and frame it as the work of pirates or rogue AI. Earth had been loyal, too loyal, and now that loyalty was about to be betrayed. Tensions simmered quietly in the weeks following Earth's failed proposal at the Council summit. On the surface, diplomatic protocols continued. Trade convoys moved, starports operated, and treaties were upheld. But behind closed doors, Earth's leadership grew increasingly wary. Something felt off. Communications with allied outposts were delayed, military deployments were being quietly rerouted by Council command, and intelligence reports suggested that pirate activity was rising, specifically near Earth's borders. Then came the first strike. Without warning, Earth's orbital defense station Solgate 4, stationed near the outer edge of the solar system, went completely dark. No distress call, no survivors. The official report from the Council blamed cosmic radiation and systems failure. But Earth's forensic scans uncovered something different. Precise, non-human energy signatures and molecular scarring consistent with Virelian plasma weaponry, weapons used only by Council elite forces. Within 48 hours, sabotage spread across Earth's military network. A remote weapons depot on Mars exploded. A communications relay on Europa was hacked, scrambling signals for hours. Dozens of Earth's high-ranking fleet officers, stationed in outposts across the galaxy, were killed in suspicious accidents. It was coordinated, surgical, and deliberate. Earth's ambassador to the Council, Admiral Leona Rask, demanded a full investigation. She presented early evidence to the Council tribunal, including encrypted transmissions intercepted from an unknown source, hinting at a planned assault on Earth infrastructure. The Council dismissed the claims, accusing Earth of paranoia and fear-mongering. "It's unfortunate," said the Zente delegate, "that Earth sees shadows where there are none. But the shadows were real, and they were growing." Back on Earth, the United Stellar Command convened an emergency session beneath the Antarctic Command Dome, a secure military facility buried deep in the ice. Analysis confirmed what many feared. The strikes were not random acts of violence or rogue pirate raids. The tactics, the technology, the precision. It was the Council, specifically a rogue faction within it, operating under the guise of preserving galactic stability. Earth had risen too far, too fast, and the old powers wanted to cut it down before it challenged the status quo. The betrayal struck deep. Humanity had bled for the Council. Thousands of soldiers lost in peacekeeping wars. Billions of credits poured into interstellar aid missions. Earth had played by the rules, even when they were rigged. Now those same allies had sent assassins, saboteurs, and orbital strikes under the cover of diplomacy. Earth's leadership faced a crossroads: respond openly and risk a galactic war, or pretend nothing had happened, while more leaders and bases were picked off one by one. But Earth was not as helpless as it appeared. Hidden beneath the planet's crust and in secret shipyards scattered across asteroid belts lay humanity's last contingency, Project Helios, a doomsday failsafe born in secret, built in silence, and designed for this very scenario. The betrayal was complete. The Council thought Earth would fold, beg, or retreat, but they had miscalculated. Earth wouldn't beg. It would burn the stars. The betrayal had cut deep, but Earth was not unprepared. Decades earlier, during its early years in the Galactic Council, Earth's top defense analysts quietly reached a chilling conclusion. Peace was conditional. So long as Earth remained weak and useful, it would be tolerated. But the moment it became strong and independent, it would be seen as a threat. From that realization, Project Helios was born, a covert defense initiative authorized by a shadow branch of Earth's unified command. Its mission: to develop weapons, fleets, and AI systems powerful enough to defend Earth in the event of a Council betrayal. But the project was so secretive that not even most of Earth's current leadership knew its full scale. Now, with Council sabotage confirmed and Earth's military networks compromised, Project Helios was activated, and what it unleashed would shake the galaxy. In deep space construction fields hidden inside mined-out asteroids and cloaked nebulae, massive warships stirred for the first time. Not the diplomatic cruisers or outdated defense frigates the Council expected, but sleek black-armored vessels equipped with forbidden tech, graviton cannons, quantum cloak fields, and AI-controlled hunter drones. Some were city-sized dreadnoughts. Others were stealth-capable strike platforms. All of them operated autonomously, requiring no human crew, piloted by the most advanced war AI Earth had ever created, URA, Autonomous Unified Response Architecture. On Luna, a massive underground hangar opened as atmospheric shrouds peeled away, revealing the Solaris, Earth's experimental command flagship, a vessel with a zero-point energy core and the capacity to bend localized gravity. Once a prototype, now it became the spearhead of Earth's counter-response. Earth's leaders, shocked at the scale of Helios, quickly shifted into wartime coordination. Command centers restructured. Civilians were evacuated from vulnerable colonies. The media, initially silenced to avoid panic, was reactivated and weaponized, broadcasting footage of Council betrayals and martyrdom of Earth officers across the colonies. The galaxy began to see the truth. Admiral Leona Rask, now recalled to Earth, was given Supreme Fleet Command. In a broadcast message sent on all known Council frequencies, she spoke plainly. "You called us naive. You used our people, bled us dry, and sent assassins when we dared to rise. You thought we would kneel. You were wrong. Earth offered peace. You gave us war. Now, we respond, not with fear, but with fire. Across the stars, Earth's war fleet came online. Former colonies that had long doubted Earth's strength were now rallying, swearing allegiance once more. Some minor council-aligned worlds went dark, unwilling to risk being seen as traitors by either side. Others began sending discreet messages. We didn't know. We want no part of this. The council, watching from its high towers on Aurelia, Prime, suddenly realized its mistake. Earth had not been bluffing. Humanity had not been fragile. It had been waiting, preparing in the shadows, learning everything it needed to tear down the very empire that had betrayed it. The galaxy had never truly seen Earth's power. Now it would. Helios had awakened, and the stars would never be the same. The galaxy watched in stunned silence as Earth's war machine roared to life. No declarations, no negotiations, no drawn-out diplomacy, just action. The first strike came, without warning. In the Verelian sector, a major council weapons research station, once considered impenetrable, was reduced to orbital debris in under 4 minutes. Earth's Shadow Fleet, comprised of stealth carriers armed with gravitational disruptors and dark matter warheads, disabled the station's defense grid before its occupants could even register the threat. The blast radius left behind not only physical ruin, but a chilling message carved into a nearby asteroid by nanodrones. We remember. Council leadership was thrown into disarray. They had expected retaliation, perhaps a formal protest, perhaps some frontier skirmishes. Not this level of precision devastation. Earth wasn't retaliating blindly. It was executing a meticulously prepared counteroffensive. The attacks weren't random. They were surgical. Every target was a key node in the Council's military-industrial complex. Supply depots, deep space fuel rigs, AI command stations, and black site labs. Each hit was devastating. Each left no trace of survivors. At the heart of this campaign was the Solaris, leading strike groups with terrifying efficiency. The ship's command AI, Aura, began predicting Council fleet maneuvers hours in advance, countering them with ambushes and hit-and-fade assaults. Human commanders and AI worked in perfect synchronization, a hybrid doctrine the Council had no experience fighting. Perhaps more shocking than the destruction was the truth that began, leaking across the galaxy. Earth's counteroffensive wasn't just military, it was informational. Embedded within their fleet's transmission systems were recordings, intercepted messages, and decrypted files detailing the Council's betrayal. The covert meetings, the assassination orders, the weapon shipments to rogue factions used as proxies. Entire planetary populations, including longtime Council allies, watched in horror as the lies they'd believed for decades were exposed. Civilians who once viewed Earth as reckless now saw them as betrayed patriots, forced into war. Protests erupted on Council-aligned worlds. Defections began. Mercenary fleets and border colonies withdrew their support from the Council, claiming neutrality or openly pledging allegiance to Earth. Desperate, the Council convened in an emergency session. Proposals ranged from total war to diplomatic overtures. The Orakthal demanded Earth be exterminated as an example. The Zenthai collective warned that pushing further could fracture the entire Council. The Verelians, reeling from their losses, wanted immediate ceasefire talks. But Earth wasn't listening. Admiral Rask, overseeing the campaign from the Solaris, addressed the Council again, not in private, but through an open galactic broadcast. You taught us fear. You taught us silence, we learned, but you mistook restraint for weakness. Now you see the truth. Earth does not beg. Earth endures, and when pushed too far, Earth strikes. The war was no longer a secret. It was everywhere. Earth's fleets now operated in systems once dominated by Council patrols. Defectors brought intelligence. Former enemies of the Council now saw Earth as an unlikely liberator. And through it all, Earth's forces remained disciplined, efficient, and devastatingly effective. This wasn't revenge anymore. This was a reckoning, and Earth was just getting started. The Galactic Council, once seen as the most stable political force in the known universe, began to unravel faster than anyone thought possible. Earth's war campaign had done more than destroy ships and stations. It had shattered illusions. Worlds that once trusted in the Council's integrity now saw it for what it truly was: a corrupt, elitist regime that betrayed one of its own to protect its power. The exposure of classified files by Earth's intelligence network, showing how Council leaders conspired to sabotage Earth's infrastructure and assassinate its officers, ignited outrage across the galaxy. Within the Council itself, cracks widened into chasms. The SaiFi collective, known for its pragmatism, was the first to splinter. Their homeworld, once a central hub for diplomatic affairs, was paralyzed by mass protests after broadcasts revealed SaiFi complicity in the sabotage. Civil unrest boiled into rebellion. SaiFi fleets refused to fight Earth, claiming they had been misled. Some even defected, surrendering their ships and pledging to support Earth's new order. The Varelians, humiliated by the destruction of their weapons facility in the opening phase of Earth's assault, pushed for full war mobilization. But their demands fell on deaf ears. Several of their outer colonies, now under threat from Earth's advance, declared independence. 2 entire Varelian fleets mutinied, choosing to protect their homeworlds instead of serving a crumbling council. The Orakthal, always the most militaristic of the founding species, attempted to rally a last stand. Their plan: to strike Earth's home system with a massive multi-species armada and force humanity to its knees. But Earth had anticipated this and laid a trap above Titan, one of Saturn's moons. The Battle of Titan would become the stuff of legend. The Council armada arrived in force, hundreds of warships, dreadnoughts, and carriers backed by mercenary fleets. But as they approached, Earth's war fleet emerged from cloak, not hundreds but thousands of vessels. The Solaris, flanked by a network of AI-controlled drone swarms, launched a coordinated counterattack using gravity well projectors and temporal destabilizers. Ships were crushed, ripped apart, or vanished in seconds. It wasn't just a defeat, it was a massacre. The Council lost over 70% of its remaining combat capacity in a single battle. Survivors limped back to Aurelia, prime in silence. The illusion of superiority was shattered forever. Back on Aurelia Prime, panic erupted. Member species accused one another of dragging the galaxy into chaos. Assassinations and walkouts followed. Trade routes collapsed. Refugees flooded neutral systems. Civil wars erupted on several Council worlds as factions rose demanding either surrender or complete separation. The Council, once a symbol of interstellar unity, officially ceased to function. And then, Earth arrived. With most Council fleets broken, Earth's armada entered the Aurelia system uncontested. No shots were fired. They didn't need to be. Earth's fleet surrounded the planet not with weapons aimed in anger, but with calm, silent dominance. Admiral Rask transmitted one final message. This is not conquest. This is justice. You chose betrayal. We chose survival. The Council UI built is no more. What rises next will not be forged in fear. In that moment, the war ended. The Council had collapsed, not only through defeat, but through exposure. Its foundations of control, secrecy, and hierarchy had been burned away by truth and by fire. The war was over, but the galaxy was far from peaceful. The Council's collapse left a vacuum that could have easily plunged the stars into chaos. Fragmented powers, rogue warlords, and opportunistic factions all scrambled to claim dominance. But Earth moved swiftly, not to conquer but to stabilize. In the aftermath of the Battle of Titan and the silent occupation of Aurelia Prime, Earth did something no one expected. It didn't raise its flag or impose martial law. Instead, Admiral Leona Rask and the United Stellar Command initiated a series of galactic broadcasts, calling for an emergency reformation summit. Not under Earth's control, but under a new coalition of worlds united by shared loss, truth, and the dream of equitable cooperation. The invitation was simple. This time all voices are heard. Former council member species, neutral systems, defectors, and even long isolated civilizations responded. Many were cautious, some were skeptical, but they came because Earth had done what no one else dared: expose the corruption at the highest level, fight back, and survive. And now it was offering not revenge but renewal. The summit, held aboard the Solaris, was a historic gathering of minds and powers, unlike any before. Rather than seizing power, Earth proposed a decentralized alliance, one built on transparency, mutual defense, and rotating leadership, with planetary systems granted autonomy under a charter of sentient rights. Gone were the ancient hierarchies and secret tribunals of the old council. This new body was named the Galactic Accord, and Earth declined permanent leadership, opting instead for a rotating advisory council of 7 worlds, each selected by open vote every cycle. Earth's role would be as guardian and guarantor of the Accord's founding principles, a symbol of strength, not domination. But Earth's influence was undeniable. Its military remained unmatched, but now it was seen as a shield, not a sword. Earth stationed peacekeeping fleets across fragile borders and offered support to war-torn colonies, not as conquerors, but as partners. Its AI systems were shared under strict ethical frameworks. Its tech, once hidden, was made available for reconstruction efforts, terraforming and rebuilding shattered infrastructure. Where once Earth was seen as the underdog, now it stood as the reluctant anchor of a new era. Admiral Rask became a legend. Not for her military brilliance, though. It was unmatched, but for her choice not to become an empress. In her final address as fleet commander, she said, "We could have ruled, but rule was never the mission. Survival was, dignity was, justice was. Let Earth's strength remind the stars not of war, but of why we fought one." In the years that followed, the Accord stabilized. Conflict didn't vanish, but it was tempered. Transparency replaced shadow deals. Trade resumed, this time with fairness. Even former council loyalists found a place in the new order, some seeking redemption, others simply tired of endless war. Earth had been betrayed, struck down, and underestimated. But in rising, it had changed not just its fate, but the fate of the entire galaxy. The stars no longer feared Earth. They respected it, and under that respect a new galactic order was born.